In the world of competitive sailing, match racing is becoming one of the most popular sports on the planet. It requires concentration, skill, teamwork, and strategy. A champion match racing skipper must be a master tactician, capable of split-second timing and decision-making, effective team leadership, and reading the ever-changing wind. For years, most World Match Racing Tour champions have been from Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. At the time this video was in production, 3 of the top 8 skippers in the world were European, 4 were from New Zealand, and 1 was from the United States Virgin Islands. His name is Taylor Canfield. As a wild-card entry in the Monsoon Cup race in Malaysia, December 2012, he edged out Kiwi Phil Robertson to capture the coveted cup. Before that, he won the Argo Group Gold Cup in Bermuda, considered the world's penultimate match racing event.
A fantastic performance from Taylor Canfield and his team. They are the winners of the Argo Group Gold Cup here in Bermuda.
Well, Taylor, congratulations. A little bit of time to take that in, digest it. Have you managed to? How amazing. It's one of the oldest in match racing.
In the next few minutes, we'll hear from a variety of match race champions, teachers, and a few Olympians about Taylor Canfield's impact on match racing and what this rising star's career could mean to sponsors, the Virgin Islands, and even North America. We begin with Henry MENIN, a respected international racing judge and umpire who has known Taylor Canfield all his life.
But he got into the Optimus program probably at about 5 or 6 years old, 7 years old, and it became apparent that he was very talented and had a lot of drive and a lot of ability. And I watched him develop even when he was 10 years old, and I was watching him and watching the way he thought on the race course and how he was planning his moves even at that young age. I thought that he was going to be a very talented sailor, and I thought he was going to be a great tactician. I wasn't sure if he was going to be a great helmsman, but that's turned out the way it is. He's a great helmsman, and he also is a good tactician as well. He's a name that brings some publicity, that brings some prestige to an event. I mean, people want to get Ian Williams now, and they want to get Russell Coutts or Jimmy Spithill or Ed Baird or some of these other older guys because they're great names in the sport, and it's like getting Tiger Woods to your local golf tournament. It's a name and it's an attraction.
And now, the champion himself, Taylor Canfield.
Some big mentors of mine coming especially from the Virgin Islands was a guy named Peter Holmberg. It was a big kind of push for me to get into match racing, seeing him do so well and be so successful. You know, being world champion numerous times in the America's Cup, and the first time I saw a match race was actually in Bermuda when I was at the Junior Gold Cup, and he was sailing in the Argo Gold Cup, and was able to see him compete against the best in the world, and it was an eye-opener for me.
Peter Holmberg is another Virgin Islander who was born to race. His many accomplishments include bringing home a silver medal from the 1988 Olympics and winning the America's Cup in 2007. He is the president of the Caribbean Sailing Association.
Very interesting, you know, this little crop of kids that came out of college. I watched Taylor and his classmates, and they each took different routes into higher level sailing, be it the Olympics or match racing in Taylor's case. And I encouraged him because I really love match racing. I think he had a natural feel for it. And it's incredible what he's done. And you know, in his first year or two here on the circuit, he's won events that took me 10 years to win, namely Bermuda Gold Cup, one of the toughest events to win. He won it this year. So you'd have to say Taylor's a natural talent, and really hats off to how great he's done this first year. What sponsors do with all sports, I believe, they see talent and they think it has potential. And Taylor's just getting going right now, and I've watched the sponsor latch on to guys at the beginning of their careers, and they rode it for a long way. It's a great decision. So I would encourage a sponsor now to look at this Taylor Canfield and what talent he's shown in this short period, and consider it a pretty darn good investment to go behind Taylor, and I think he's got a big potential ahead of him. Match racing is right up close and personal to the people, and I think sponsoring a match racing team is different than just a normal sailing team. There's a lot of more opportunities for the sponsor to engage with the client, with the team that he sponsors. So I think it's a great fit, and great to be in our sport.
As you can see, match racing is a high-voltage event. Fans love it because, unlike so many other sailing races, all the action unfolds very close to the shore. Audiences can see firsthand what it takes to be a champion. Up close and personal, as Olympic sailor Peter Holmberg just explained. Another Olympian watching Canfield's career is Sally Barkow. We spoke with Sally moments after she won the 2012 Carlos Aguilar match race on St. Thomas.
I think it'd be great pride for the island. You know, I think Taylor's a very, very talented sailor. He has a lot of natural skills that he can bring to match racing, and he has a really good capability of building a really fantastic team to surround him. And I think he can excel. You know, 2 tour wins in a row, just getting on the circuit. I think he's a shoo-in for next year, and I think he can really play with the top guys. I think he's trained really hard in Chicago, and it's been you know, a really big learning curve for him throughout the whole year, and I see him just soaring, you know, right to the top. So really proud of him, and I think it'd be really fantastic for him to carry on.
Expose myself to as many types of racing as possible. I went out training here with 2 of my best friends, Thomas Barrows and Cy Thompson, and we'd just go out and sail miles on end together, and you know, just trying to adapt to every shift, every puff, and it was great. I mean, again, we were able to sail all year round, and then moving right into the college sailing, that was a huge part of my development as a sailor, and I sailed in every type of condition you can imagine, the shiftiest and the most current, and that was great. I went to Boston College and had a great coach, Greg Wilkinson, who really pushed me hard to reach that top level.
Is he still in Boston?
He is, yeah. Greg Wilkinson's still at Boston College, and the coach there is probably one of the most successful college coaches in the last 5 years. They just won, actually yesterday, just won their 12th championship in 5 years. So it's a pretty impressive coaching career for him.
He always won. He was always winning. He wasn't just good. He wasn't just one of the best guys. He was always winning. And reliably, like incredibly consistent that he was going to go out and win. He probably is one of the most successful collegiate sailors in the history of college sailing, to be honest. And some of that was a little bit under the radar screen, only a tiny bit, just because of the details of how our sport works. But in the time that Taylor was here, he helped his team win 4 national championships in 4 years. And when I say helped his team win those, he led his team to victory in each of those. He wins. Whatever he touches, he wins. And so they're going to get success out of him. But he's young and he's fit. You know, he's got an exciting personality. He's a fun guy to be around. And Taylor was an excellent ambassador for our team. He's very proud to put on that Boston College uniform. He believed in what this place was all about. And I think if he connects with the right sponsor, I think he can do the exact same thing. If he believes in his sponsors and they believe in him, I think he'll be an exciting and really good ambassador, just like he was here.
For a perspective on what Taylor's career could mean to the Virgin Islands, the United States, and sponsors, we turn to Eric Ackerson, marine expert and host of the On the Water radio program.
We're always fond of commenting that the world passes through the Virgin Islands. We are a central point for travel and tourism. We are a small little collection of beautiful, pristine islands and a gigantic global marketplace. The name Taylor Canfield to be rated currently 9th in the world. That's the 9th best sailor on the planet Earth. That's the kind of notoriety that world-class athletes such as a Taylor Canfield bring to St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, and beautiful Water Island here in the Virgin Islands. We have a very strong sailing community down here. We have world-class sailors that come and compete on a regular basis in the Virgin Islands from all around the world. They follow the trades. They follow the magazines. These are people that, you know, money follows these elite athletes. And again, when you have the name Taylor Canfield, world-class sailor, or winner of the Monsoon Cup, one of the world's best match races, and a brand name associated with them, it's a win-win situation for all involved.
We spoke with Taylor first at his home port, the St. Thomas Yacht Club.
Growing up in the Virgin Islands, it was quite easy to get into the great sport of sailing. As you can see in my background here, there's beautiful conditions all the time, and great wind, and you can sail year-round. So my parents throwing me into an Optimist at the age of 5 was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. And you know, they pushed me off the beach, and I was pretty much hooked ever since. Well, being from the Virgin Islands is a great element to my sailing. Other than the natural beauty and the beaches and the scenery, we also have a hidden gem, which is the great sailing conditions. And we here at the St. Thomas Yacht Club, where I grew up sailing, it's a beautiful place, and you know, it's kind of again, like I said, a hidden gem. So hopefully people around the world will see what we have here and see the great sailors rise from the St. Thomas Yacht Club. We've been sailing in a ton of events around the world, and especially in the U.S., and I think we finally got to the point where we're ready to make that next step. And in order to make that next step is not only the great sailing, but the money that comes behind it. So the sponsorship's really important, and the Alpari World Match Racing Tour has done a great job setting up a great scene. There's, I think, live television in 183 countries around the world and live stream online. So it's a great opportunity for companies to get their name out there and be a part of something great. The Chicago Match Race Center is great. It's one of the best match race centers in the world, and we host world-class events which attracts some of the greatest sailors in the world as well. So being able to both work there and be a part of that and compete in all the competitions there is a great aspect and a great help to my sailing.
We also spoke with Taylor in Chicago, where he is sailing director at the Chicago Match Racing Center.
The Chicago Match Race Center is a great place. It's helped me rise as a sailor and an individual. And as my first job out of college, it's been a great experience kind of seeing the whole program rise from the bottom up. And not only have I seen that, but it's, again, helped me develop as a sailor and into the sport of match racing. I've used Chicago Match Race Center as my home base for the past 5 years now, and have taken my match racing to a new level. Being a part of the Chicago Match Race Center has not only allowed me to see what goes into hosting and running a professional event, but has also allowed me to see how other teams have developed themselves and carried themselves at these events. With all the professional teams coming through Chicago Match Race Center, I've learned a lot about managing my own team and developing my own team, which has been a huge gain for me. Yeah, we'd love an invite to the 2013 World Match Racing Tour, and it's been a goal of mine since, you know, I was here at the Junior Gold Cup like all these kids here.
For more information, visit us1sailing.com, email taylorisv@gmail.com or canfieldvi@gmail.com, or call one of the numbers on your screen. A born sailor, outstanding athlete, proud son of the Virgin Islands, and a force to be reckoned with on the World Match Racing Tour, Taylor Canfield.